Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan and today I'm finally going to do my LilySilk review. Obviously all of these things were purchased with my own money. This is unsponsored. You're going to get my unfiltered, unpurchased opinion of these items. I have made, oh gosh, about 6 orders from LilySilk in the last year because I'm someone who is just really nervous about buying things online, especially when I can't just return it in person to a department store. So I took this really slow. At the beginning of the year, there were a number of influencer campaigns featuring LilySilk. I kind of went by what Mel and Melbourne had to say because I know that she's worked with them for a long time. A lot of the other influencers, like, they had never mentioned them before. They haven't mentioned them since. So I listened to what she had to say and I was really intrigued because I have loved silk as a material for well over a decade. I've been sewing since I was a little girl. I learned to do it. Grandma paid for me to have classes and things like that. And I really got into silk clothing when I was in high school and college because having a bigger bust, I noticed that the clothes just fell really nicely. But at the time when I was in college, I could only afford to get them from thrift stores. Now, that is a great idea if you're someone who's on a really tight budget because you can find beautifully made silk blouses for $15, $20. Sometimes they'll be in a more vintage style, but like, you know, that's coming back around. So I wanted to just share with you some of the things that I love about silk in general, why I decided to buy from LilySilk, why I have repeatedly bought from LilySilk, and what I purchased, what I think of those individual items. So just to share with you first, I have a number of silk blouses and dresses from other brands. For example, Equipment, Rebecca Taylor, and Veronica Beard. I also have some from Hugo Boss. It is absolutely my favorite material. Again, just because it's so flattering, it can keep you cool, it can keep you warm, it's very lightweight, so it's easy to layer, but also just feel really snuggly. I'm wearing one of the silk camis, and I had a meeting with my supervisor over the computer just a couple hours ago, but you know, if I put on a cardigan, I'm suddenly really dressed up. I feel like silk offers this dressy, luxurious quality in a way that obviously a t-shirt doesn't. And you just immediately look a little bit more polished even though you put in the same amount of effort for your clothes. So to begin, I do have my notepad in front of me. I have everything written down if you see me looking down. But to start out with what I like about LilySilk in general, they have a really large variety of clothes. They have dresses, they have blouses, they have pajamas, they have so many different things, and I'll get into what I purchased in a little bit. But I love their wide variety. They have so many different styles, but they're all really simple and classic. They're, you know, you don't have to go through pages and pages of really trendy pieces, different, you know, styles that are really popular right now. But on their site, you see a lot of simple button downs, wrap dresses, shift dresses, things like that. They also have every color you could possibly want, whether you just want something really like classic, like navy, black, they have white, they have, especially if you want a button-down shirt, they have every color you could possibly want. Yellows, greens, purple, everything. So I love the variety. You're spoiled for choice. I think that the prices are phenomenal. I'll get into quality in a little bit because I have to say I do not think they're on par with much more expensive items. However, sometimes you see really highly priced silk blouses that really aren't worth it. I'll talk more about that later, but you can get incredible deals at LilySilk. You can get one, like buy one, get one for 40% off. That's how I've purchased a lot of them. They're often like tiered discounts where if you spend up to a certain amount, you can get $10, $20 off. And then on top of that, you can use influencer codes, which can get you another 10, 15% off. So they're a really good price. So that made me take the plunge, whereas I was really skeptical. Supposedly they have a really great return policy. I've seen that reviewed online. It's very easy to make returns. I've never had to make a return, so I can't speak to that. Another thing I love about LilySilk is that they have measurements online. I would not have purchased from them if they didn't have measurements. I also love that they feature pictures from, like, pulled from Instagram on their website of people actually wearing their clothes, like normal ladies. All of their models are very, very slim, you know, they're like the stereotypical, very willowy, slim, tall model. So I love that they have reviews on there, and they feature pictures pulled from Instagram of people featuring their clothes. So then I can look and see, oh, okay, that woman has a body like me, that dress looks great, awesome, and then feel a little bit more confident about buying it. Lastly, they had very fast shipping. I live on the East Coast, and this stuff is literally coming from the other side of the world, and I would still get it within 3 to 4 business days. I imagine if you live elsewhere, if you live in California or anywhere in Europe, I think it would probably come even faster. So to go over some of the things that I like about silk clothes in general, I love the versatility. I've mentioned that I love how it can look dressed up really easily. You can just layer cardigans, blazers, anything over a silk cami, or just throw on a button-down shirt. All of these things I wear at work and in my everyday life, whether that's sitting down in meetings or going to the grocery store or going to the park. They're all just really easy to wear. Now, it can also be a little annoying for some people because these things can be more delicate. You do have to wash them in delicate bags or wash them by hand or take them to the dry cleaner. Dry cleaners can be quite pricey, so I wash all of these things by hand. There's also the environmental aspect of it. Now, they will wrinkle after you wash them. I have washed all of my pieces. They've held up beautifully. I even bought garment bags from LilySilk because they were going to be coming free if I purchased them. So they've been very easy for me to take care of, but you do need to steam them or iron them. That being said, you can also just simply steam them and really extend the life of your items. Steaming can kill bacteria, so it's kind of a 2-in-1. After you wear it, you don't necessarily have to wash it every single time. Just with steaming in between, it's really easy. Okay, so I think that covers, now you know why I love silk so much. So just to go over some of the pieces that I've purchased from them, I started out with camis. They're beautiful, they're so versatile, they come in a million different colors. I picked the goldy yellow color and the white. One word of warning, oil stains silk really easily. Sometimes if you're not careful spraying your perfume and you get like a big glob on there, it can easily leave an oil stain, and that's not coming out. Another thing to keep in mind, I ended up ruining one of these. Not ruining, I still actually wear it around the house when it doesn't really matter and it's still really comfortable. But I fuzzed up one of the sides because I was wearing a crossbody bag, and the friction with the strap, this is true of all silk, again, not LilySilk specific, but it fuzzed up, and now it's just, yeah, now the fibers are just fuzzy right there, and it looks kind of funny just to, have like a circle right there. But I love these. I've washed them several times, cold, delicate, and yeah, they're still perfect. So that was the very first thing I bought because I knew I would get a lot of use out of it. Next, I branched into dresses. I should say, I'm actually going in the order roughly of how much I love the thing. So I'm starting with the things I love the most and have used the most, moving down to the things that, they're okay. They were okay enough to keep them, but I don't love them. I'm not going to repurchase them, if that makes sense. We're still in the realm of things that I love and would consider getting in other colors or buying again in the future if I need to replace it. This is just a simple navy shift dress. I'm gonna have little cutaways over here of me trying things on, keeping in mind that I'm not a model. I'm just another random lady on the internet, and I don't know, my body is fine. It doesn't look like anyone else's, but hopefully it gives you an idea of how I like to wear them. I decided to buy some of these silk pieces because they are fantastic with lambskin bags and light color bags. If you have a lot of neutrals, beiges, white bags, silk is fantastic because you're not just stuck wearing white and beige and pairing it with those lighter items because, you know, because it's such a finer material, it's not going to have the same friction problem as jeans. So you can get away with wearing navies and burgundies and things like that and not worrying about color transfer. I really started to think about how am I going to style my white classic flap and my off-white Flextra bag. These have been fantastic to pair with it because, again, you just have a lot of options. I know every influencer is sporting the like 50 shades of beige and the big oversized boxy beige blazer. I just don't like those things. So this really gave me some options. Moving along, again, things that I still really love. This is a yellow wrap dress that I actually just purchased from them in the buy one get one 40% off Black Friday deal. A beautiful wrap dress. I'll have everything linked below. This is a specific cut because they have quite a few wrap dresses. This one is a little on the shorter side. It's just above the knees. I like things to be a little bit longer, but it's really flattering. If you have a bigger bust, you get full coverage up top. When I'm at work, I don't want to have my cleavage out, this personal preference. I also should mention that the camis have adjustable straps, which I really like because I have a longer torso. So having these adjustable straps gives a lot more options. The wrap dresses, word of warning, they do not have a lot of overlap. I say with all of these, I mentioned that they have the measurements. I'm a medium in all of them. I would go with a size up. If you're like right in between sizes, go with the size up. Just because you're going to have, it's going to be a lot more comfortable. You're not going to feel like all just, I don't know, sucked in, and they're going to be a lot cooler. It's going to be a lot more comfortable. You're going to have more air around your body. And I mean, I know with this year, I don't want to wear any tight clothes, but with sizing up, you just get a lot more coverage with a wrap dress. So yes, that is another piece that I love. I also purchased some of the white button downs. They have a number of options, whether you want pockets, if you want visible buttons. I went for the one that has the covered buttons just because I think it looks really clean. I went with white because it's always hard to find white button downs. They're so easy to get stained and worn. I really love them just because you can pair them underneath a blazer. I've worn these just out on shopping trips and they feel really put together. Something I wanted to note. I think LilySilk has good quality items. They're not equal to what you might see on like a $400 blouse. But they're also not charging you $400. So, you know, like think about it. Here's an equipment shirt. I think this is a little bit more, I think it's a little bit higher quality. However, I also think there are reasons to buy things that maybe won't last forever because, I don't know about you, but my white clothes don't last forever anyway. Here is an example of one of my favorite silk dresses from Veronica Beard. It's this off-white and it's already started to yellow around the armpits. That happens because the aluminum reacts with the proteins in your sweat and it stains your clothes. Unfortunately, I have aluminum-free deodorant for when I wear white things, but unfortunately they just don't work. Aluminum-free deodorant doesn't work for me and I feel stinky and then I just feel kind of bad, you know, so unfortunately my white clothes will not last forever anyway. I've worn this a couple times, I've washed it, and of course it's still holding up well, but I can tell from the stitching that it's not going to last forever, but it's white. It's not going to last forever anyway, so I'd rather pay a lot less money for something like that. That's just my personal preference. Do what you like. And I have another white button down. Again, something that I still think is really useful. This was the Mel and Melbourne collaboration with the little pearl buttons. It's really beautiful. I work in an office typically when I'm not working from home during the pandemic, but it's beautiful. It's really versatile, easy to tuck into skirts, pants, jeans, however you like to wear it. Obviously, you can wear it with the tie or not, just depending on your personal style, but I think it's really cool to have it. I just really liked the vintage style buttons on here. Okay, next is another tank top. This is a V-neck and back with thicker straps. I like this, but I like the camis more because there's something about, just about how these pucker. Like, I can't explain it, but the shape is kind of funny because there's no line where like it was made to be worn over bigger boobs. There's just something about it. It kind of falls funny on my chest. It's okay, but it's not great. So yeah, to be honest, if I was trying this on in a department store, I don't know if I would have taken it home with me, but it still looks good when I have a jacket over it with a sweater, basically, so that you just can't like see where like the fabric puckers right here. It's still really nice though. I do like that it has thicker straps, so you know you can't see your bra straps. All of these things so far are totally opaque. I don't want to see my underwear through it. Okay, something I still like, but you have to kind of be careful depending on your shape. This is another one of their wrap dresses, totally different style to the other one. It's a smidge longer, comes just around the knees, but the bust can be kind of funny. There's also very little overlap for the wrap portion, so if you live in a very windy place like me, you know, and you're exposed. I was also walking one day, and I was walking kind of quickly. You know, when you're in a city, you just tend to walk really fast. And my skirt just was totally between my legs, and I was kind of like having to shift it, and the one side kept wanting to go over, so my whole thigh was exposed. And then the wrap came undone. I had it in a really tight bow, so I do recommend double knotting them. That's just because silk is really slippery, you know, it's a really fine fabric. Also, this cut of bust might not work for everyone. It's okay on me. Again, there's something where maybe if I was trying it on a department store, I wouldn't have taken it home. I liked it enough to keep it, and it was a really good price. So I didn't want to fuss with like returning it. I hate returning things. I hate having to mail it back. You know, I'm always like, I have this weird anxiety. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I'm like worried that it's gonna get lost in the mail. It's not going to arrive. I'm not gonna get my money back. It's just nuts, where I would just rather keep it if I like it enough. But there's just something about the way the bust folds. This constantly wants to flip over. Now it's not a huge deal because it's the exact same color, but it constantly wants to flip over on the seam, and it can just be a little bit difficult to wear. Okay, things that I wouldn't recommend or wouldn't repurchase. At first, when I tried on this white blouse, I really liked it. I thought it was just really cool and chic and comfortable. Now I'm not so keen on it. When I actually went to go wear it one day, I realized it's pretty see-through. This is the only item in my collection that is not totally opaque, but I don't like that you can see my bra through it. I think it just looks a little bit messy. I have still worn it because I'll wear like a scarf draped over it, and so it's not a big deal. When you layer it up, put on a jean jacket, you're good to go. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this one. Lastly, oh no, that's not true. I forgot one thing, and this thing I actually do really like. I bought one of the nightgowns. Now they have a slip dress, this. They have a slip dress, and then they also have nightgowns. The nightgowns are a lot more expensive, but they're way better in my opinion. There's something about the cut, it's more flattering. Again, don't go with the tightest size that you can squeeze into. Like, measure your body, look at their measurements. If you're right on the verge of one, I would say size up. That's what I did. And I'm so glad. This is really beautiful, very comfortable just to wear around the house. I'm not someone who likes to wear slip dresses out. I just kind of feel like I'm wearing my underwear. But I like that this has thicker straps. It's a very thick material, still like lightweight and comfortable, but there's just something about the weight of this material where it just skims over your body in a really flattering way. Totally opaque, really soft and comfortable. The slip dresses, however, this is just my personal preference. I know that these are in every like capsule wardrobe you see here on YouTube. I wouldn't rebuy them. Yeah, static cling is a thing you need to worry about with slip dresses. You know that that scene in Because I Said So when Mandy Moore's character is crossing the road and she's got like the balloon stuck to her butt and her dress keeps riding up, and so she has to like take her, you know, yeah. That's cute because it's in a rom-com, but in real life, it's just really awkward. I wore this to the grocery store with a jean jacket and Doc Martens scarf. I felt like layered up enough so that I didn't feel like I was just wearing my underwear out. Essentially almost like wearing just a silk skirt. But because of the static cling, it was clinging to my legs and bum. You could just see every outline, every bump, and yeah, I just felt real uncomfortable with that and kind of like trying to like pull it away from myself. It wasn't like that when I left the house. But yeah, not so keen on these. If you are gonna go for a slip dress, I would say just pay the little bit of extra money for the nightgown version, because you can still actually, I mean, you can still style that exactly like you would. This just also has the adjustable straps. Both of these do, in fact. Really helpful. I know that people talk about layering these. You can wear them over top turtlenecks. I don't think those things look good on me, so I would not buy this again. I don't know. I guess just think about how you like to wear things. And this is a lot more affordable than other versions I've seen from Vince, for example. So if you're curious about the trend, and if nothing else, maybe you'll wear it around the house. If you're curious about the trend, I would say give it a go. It's a good price. It's held up well enough. Again, like none of the seams are falling apart. So good. That is, let me see, that's everything I have from them. I also have garment bags. Let me see. Just to know about the garment bags, if you don't have any, I would recommend buying them. However, one of my seams is starting to fall apart. I've only used it once. It was $6 for 4. I've had this same problem with much more expensive garment bags. You can buy them everywhere. But they tend to be a cheaply made thing. They fall apart after a couple of washes. The zipper on this is pretty good though. Even though it is just, you know, the seam right here is starting to come off. I'm not worried about that. Like I said, that can happen with ones that are way more expensive, and I recommend buying them. I want to say like you need them, but if you're gonna buy silk items, these are really handy, and you do kind of need them if you're gonna put them in the washer and you just want to be careful. Okay, so that is everything I think I wanted to say about the LilySilk items. Now you've seen what I have. I do highly rate their products. They're not the same quality as $500–600 blouses, but you're not gonna be paying that much. And if you take good care of them, if you're careful, if you get your money's worth out, and like, I think they're great. I think they're absolutely going to last you a long time. I would be curious to do maybe like some kind of review a year from now or 2 years from now to talk about what I still have. If I'm still doing YouTube at that time, I can look back at this video and see how things have held up. I would love to make that update just because it's something that people don't do enough. I would love to see more influencers look back at their hauls and think about, are they still using those products? Are they still holding up really well? I think part of the reason they don't do it is because probably they don't have a lot of those things anymore. But I still have some silk blouses that I bought in college from thrift stores, and they've held up beautifully, so I would love to know how these pair. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm gonna have my size information listed below. I'm a medium for all of these, and they fit me really well, as you hopefully you'll agree when you see the cutaways. But let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to do a Black Friday haul next week, I think. Hopefully my last thing will arrive today. Anyway, I hope you're all happy and safe and having a lovely holiday. I know it's a weird one for all of us, but I will talk to you next time. Bye.